Paragraph 4. It says, there's some evidence by means of a sworn, corroborating, and independent witness statement establishes a causal link between the offenders and the offenses of murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances, possession of unlicensed firearms, and unlawful possession of ammunition. The Director of Public Prosecution, Gauteng Province, Gauteng Division, on a directive of the National Director of Public Prosecutions, instructed, after a careful consideration of the presented evidence, that the above 5 suspects in paragraph 3 must be arraigned for murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances, as well as possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition. The instructions are attached with this statement as BNG1. I hereby apply for the warrant of arrest for the following suspect on above indicated charges on this paragraph. This simply, I'm sorry, you can proceed to interpret. Now, was this not an application for a warrant of arrest after the office of the DPP has taken a decision?
My Lord, yes, I'll answer the question. The first part I'd like to deal with, can I just ask Advocate Mnisi, because respect is a two-way process. The usage of disrespectful word, because that's how I deem them, I do not appreciate it. I don't use disrespectful words to him simply because one has to be professional and maintain the court's decorum. I expect the same from him. I don't think he deserves better than me. I expect the same treatment. Now, going back to the question that I've been asked, my Lord, paragraph 4 is very specific, and this is the question, this is something that I was attempting to address after he made the statement, because I could see that it's coming exactly here, and he told me it's not done, I must keep quiet, and I left it at that. Paragraph 4 refers to BNG1. BNG1 is a directive from the DPP, and I did say, my Lord, because this is what I'm trying to clarify, and I don't know how many times must I say it. This statement, and the reason we got to this statement is because I was asked to specify, not summarize, what evidence do we have on accused 1, 2, 3, up to 5. And I said a document that has specifics, so that I can answer Advocate Mnisi with specifics, is this statement A195. But this statement is not what was presented to the DPP. I've said it over and over again, my Lord, that it was the memorandum together with the entire docket. So I only refer to this statement to go to the specifics that are being asked, so that when I'm being asked what evidence do you have on accused 1, then I can refer to what is contained in this statement, which was used in the application for the warrant of arrest. So it's basically a document I'm referring to that deals with specifics that I'm being asked to consider, and that's why I refer to it. At no stage did I say this statement is what I presented to the DPP. That is not correct, my Lord. And one can see clearly, my Lord, that in BNG1, the date in which this directive came from the DPP was the 22nd of October 2020. Subsequent to this directive, then this statement is made to the magistrate. There's even a date of the statement, the date of the magistrate, but it's the following day, meaning the 23rd of October 2020. So the statement came as a result of the directive that was taken. Me referring to it was not saying it is now the document I presented. I've said it over and over again. It's a memorandum. I'm done, my Lord.
Do you agree, Brigadier, that this statement, that the essence of this statement was an application, is a statement that was attached to an application for the warrant of arrest? Are we agreeing there or not?
Yes, I agree, my Lord.
Thank you. Now, I've got a bit of a challenge. When you say what is contained in the statement is not everything that you submitted as a memorandum to the office of the DPP.
My Lord, I've indicated that, and I'm repeating it again. I was asked specifically insofar as the accused before court. And I refer to these statements because under each and every accused, there are specifics in terms of evidence. And I've indicated, my Lord, that when I sent the memorandum, it went with the docket. You don't go to the DPP and say, here's the document, decide. I sent the docket, the entire docket, so that they can read, look at the evidence, make their own decision. Hence, then I got BNG1 as a result of what was presented, but not the information only. The entire docket was given to them. I'm simply, and I'm saying again, my Lord, I'm simply referring to statement A198 because it deals with the evidence that relates to the accused before court. And that is the question I was asked, and I'm answering that question, my Lord.
Let's cut it short, Brigadier. From this information, which you've just read into records, you've made mention of the fact that there's another information that was contained in that memorandum, which relates to Kelly Kumalo. Beyond that, is there any other information that you would have included in the memorandum?
I think, my lord, it will be the list of witnesses in my recollection, because you'll say there's this witness that gave this statement. It will be something to that effect that I recall would have been contained, insofar as the witnesses who dispose affidavits in this docket.
Thank you. Must I then assume that henceforth will be departing on the same level, that except for the issue relating to Kelly Kumalo and the list of witnesses, there's nothing else that should have been included in the statement that was contained in that memorandum?
No, but I won't be able to answer that, my lord. I mean, I don't have the memorandum specific, because if I say yes and then the memorandum is found is saying something else, then I'll be misleading the court. I can't answer that now, my lord.
That is perfectly correct, Brigadier, because I was coming to the point where, when I was saying I'm having a problem with what is happening here, because in the course of my cross-examination, I don't want to be putting suggestions to you, such as you are now rebranding your evidence. Do you understand? So,
I understand, my lord, but insofar as the specifics relating to this accused before court as to what did we have, it is contained in the statement.
now, in relation to these accused persons that are before court here, what you have mentioned in this statement is what you presented to the office of the DPP. Is it what you presented to the office of the DPP in your memorandum?
My lord, it will be included. When you draft a memorandum, you indicate the evidence that is there. And that is why I said the evidence insofar as these accused are concerned is what is contained in the statement. But it must be understood also, my lord, that when you give evidence, and that's how I understand it, you're not dictating to the DPP. DPP, they have the authority, they sit with the authority to decide what to do with the docket that is before them, and in terms of the charges. My duty was to present what we have, and out of that presentation, my lord, that is why BNG1, and I refer to it, it's a communication from the DPP. Out of this communication from the DPP on the 22nd of October 2020, I then drafted the statement the following day requesting the warrant of arrest, because there was already a guidance from the DPP to say these are the charges and this is where we are going, and then I drafted the statement. And that's the evidence that I know was presented and was contained in the docket and still in the docket, my lord. Also indicated this part that this was a prosecutorial driven investigation, meaning prior to the submission of the memorandum, there was a communication between my office and the prosecution up to the stage where now the memorandum was presented. So it's not a situation where the police are operating in isolation. Then at a certain stage, they just come and send the document. This was a joint operation or investigation, my lord.
Okay, so here goes. We got to listen to paragraph 4. Mnisi read it into the record and then asked Gininda, is there anything else other than Kelly Kumalo that you want me to know about? And Gininda goes, oh yeah, the witness list. Okay, great. Anything else? You know what? I don't want to say. You know what? Because next you're going to say that I am misleading the court. Oh, Brigadier Gininda's feelings were really hurt by that statement. But I thought he made it quite clear that, respect is a two-way street and no one is above the other. So why is he bringing it back up? Why is he bringing it back up in a moment where there's no insinuation that he is misrepresenting the court? And in true Advocate Mnisi's style, because Advocate Mnisi is always ready, okay? Gininda can sense that there's a trap coming, so he doesn't want to commit to anything. And then Mnisi lets him know. He gives him a hint. He says, is this all? Are you sure? Is this all? Because, I don't want to put a suggestion later on that you are now rebranding your evidence. You see what Mnisi did there? Did you see? Let me say it again. That you are now rebranding your evidence. In layman's term, you are lying. You are misrepresenting the court. You are changing your evidence. You are shifting the narrative to suit what's going on. Basically, Mnisi is saying, I'm giving you a chance to put it all on the table because I have a trap. I'm going there. Just put it on the table. Save yourself. This is your chance to save yourself. And Gininda finally takes the bait and he says, don't forget, this was a prosecutorially led investigation. One thing about Gininda, and I've said this before, I said it last year when he was being cross-examined by the defense team. I'll say it again in 2025. Gininda will always save himself and he will throw everybody under the bus because he is a brigadier, okay? He is not tarnishing his name or his image for anybody. That is my opinion, and that's the sense I'm getting out of this. So it goes on and on and on, and they just keep going back and forth with this paragraph 4 situationship. I don't want to make this video too long, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to end it here, and then we'll finally see what's this trap that Mnisi has laid for the Brigadier, because the Brigadier knows. The Brigadier is so scared. Listen, somebody left a comment in one of my videos yesterday and said that I said the same thing 20 times. I mean, it's quite phenomenal that someone would say that. So I said, you know what? Let me take advantage of this engagement. I mean, somebody did take the time to type a comment on my page. Let me also take the time to respond, especially if they're making such insinuations. Because then I say, you know what? Before I'm accused of rebranding my evidence, I say to him, what do you mean 20 times? What did I say 20 times? And can you show me on the record where I said it 20 times? I mean, I thought we are watching these videos so that we can also learn. We are learning and developing ourselves personally as well. Personally, I can only speak for myself. I'm personally developing. I mean, for one, my vocabulary has grown, especially with these two. But we are not there, okay? And I thought that it would be the same as well for you who's watching my videos. Drop a 1 in the comment section if you are learning from watching this trial. I definitely am. But when I see a comment that says you're repeating the same thing 20 times, and I know for a fact I'm not repeating anything 20 times, because man, if I had to repeat something 20 times, I know more than 20 people would let me know in the comment section down below. But you know what? Every comment counts, whether it's good or bad or feedback. It's great because it tells YouTube and the algorithm that, oh, there's a conversation over here. There's a conversation worth having. So it's very similar to what Brigadier Gininda does. He tries to, belittle advocate Mnisi. He tries to appear like he's got all the vocabulary, he's got all the words, and he can speak the long-winded sentences. But at the end of the day, Brigadier Gininda ignores him. At the end of the day, advocate Mnisi ignores him and just continues with his path. So I say all that to say, when I do my edits, I know exactly how long I am taking when I'm doing a commentary. I know exactly what I said. I might not know verbatim, but I can just say, no, show me the record. Tell me, and then when you're going to insinuate something in the comments, make sure you put the timestamp. And just in case you don't know how to do that, you put, like, let's say this, at the time that you're watching, there's going to be like a tape looking thing in the comment section. You press that. It's going to put the timestamp so that you have the record, I have the record, and we can play it, and then we can verify if what you're accusing me of is actually in the record. I'm going to end this video right here because what do you mean I'm talking this long? I'll catch you on my next upload because I want us to jump into the trap. What is this trap, Mnisi?